Alrighty. Okay, good deal. So we got several to go through. We're going to try to get through these in 30 minutes. We'll see if we can do that or not. And then if I have any answers, if they're more Amazon related, I'll try to pop in too, but I'll funnel all the ones I can over to Paul. So the first one is from Anne. I've read and seen that Amazon is doing crazy things with reviews and stopping excess reviews. Is this correct? And we saw this question from a couple of people. So Paul, why don't you guys give your thought on excess reviews and ASNs being blocked, and I might follow up as well.
I haven't seen that in my own stuff, to be honest. So I have heard about it, but any of these methods that we're doing, the best thing about every one of these methods that we taught you today is that they are so squeaky clean inside of TOS. Again, you're not giving something to somebody in exchange for a review. You're not giving them that. There's no requirement there if you're doing the free casino drinks model. Alternatively, if you go with the fatal attraction method, you're not giving them anything. But Mike, I don't know if you would agree with me, but I'm not seeing that on any of my SKUs. I'm not seeing that on any of my products. I mean, you saw Ben's screenshot that was from June 4th through June 18th, and I mean, that's like a couple days ago.
Yeah. No, if you look at that, that was, 10 reviews a day. So we have, like Rich and I, we get to see about 30,000 people selling on Amazon and see what's going on. We have heard of this going on with some people, so we're not going to say it's not happening. It is happening out there that some ASINs are being blocked from future reviews, but it's not like permanent block, just so you guys know. So first, let me explain what we've seen, and then let me take your fear away. First thing is, it seems as if it's mostly new products that if you get too many reviews too quickly from too high of a percentage of brand new customers, Amazon just kind of puts the brakes on and say, hold on, we've noticed you got like 20 reviews out of 40 sales, which no one gets. We're going to put you like on a 3 to 7 day suspension, not suspension, but they kind of block that ASIN from getting more reviews. They just want to make sure that people aren't gaming the system like they have in the past. It's mostly for new products. That's what we've seen. And it's definitely tied to how many sales that you're making, as a matter of fact. So the normal review percentage people are getting is like 1 to 2%. So if you're getting anywhere between 5%, if you can get upwards towards 10%, you should be safe. You know what I mean? It's also category specific. Amazon knows how many products and categories get how many reviews. People just, there's certain products people do give reviews pretty often, there's certain they don't, and they just keep an eye on it. So my thought is this: just don't go crazy, start off slow, and know that if something happens, if Amazon does say you're getting too many reviews too quickly for this product, just take a pause and realize your account's not shut down, your product's not shut down. You will be able to get reviews later on. They're just temporarily placing that hold on that ASIN, usually for 3 to 7 days, just to kind of keep an eye on things there. So one, I don't think it's going to happen. Do I want to see anyone go out there and try to get 50 or 100 reviews in a couple days? No, don't do that either. Start off slow, and you control this funnel. Like, think about that. You absolutely control this funnel. If you want to slow things down, if you want to put in a manual step at the end to that last part of manually contacting people, say, hey, thank you, you've made it all through this funnel. You don't say that, but if you want to control that last part of saying, would you mind finally giving us a review, you can do that. I can tell you that's what I've done in our business. I have one of our customer service folks. Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
I started like that, Mike. I mean, no, I was just going to say to that point, I started like that in November when I first started this. And because this was super experimental, I wasn't as professional. I didn't know everything I know now with setting up sequences and tagging and all that stuff. I was manually asking people. And what I was finding was 90% of the people that I asked left a review within 5 minutes. And the most that I got in one day was like 12. So that was, before this whole review stuff. But to your point too, that the thing that you shouldn't have to worry about with this is because you do have to have a little bit of established track record of sales. You have to have that exported from Managed by Stats and then imported into Facebook to basically have those people see this ad. The people seeing this ad are people that have purchased from you in the past. So there is going to be a little bit of a lag time. So you're not going to have to you're not running that risk of, 20 reviews on 40 sales. But what we're seeing is this is bumping up, from 0.5%, of every sale to like 2 to 3%. And when you're selling at volume like we are, that's huge. So yeah, you throttle it, you control it. Not every single person that's ever purchased from you is going to leave a review, but that's normal and that will never raise any flags. This is just going to give you more increased reviews over time.
Absolutely. Okay, great. So next question. Do these reviews assume that you already have an existing contact or email list? From Ralph.
No. So you don't need to have an existing contact or email list. And when we started with this, I mean, we were just exporting, we exported our entire purchase history from Amazon. So not only were we doing this particular funnel, but we were also asking people which product they purchased. So the simpler method is you're just exporting this, your customer data from something like Managed by Stats, saying only these SKUs purchased, then you upload and create an audience. So you do not need a list, but this is a great way to build a list from that not having one.
Yep, great answer. This is from Lois Smithers, who's left. Shame on you, Lois. I know Lois, though. So we'll still answer her question. I'm going to have my web guy build this out for me. Can you give me a general idea of how long it would take to complete putting this funnel together?
Well, since we did it for you, it's going to be like one click if you're using ManyChat. It's super, super, super quick. If you go with the Stripe method and you don't worry about integrating into an offsite thing, literally you can get this set up in like 5 minutes if you have a product to give away. It's so stinking quick. If you end up going the route of say sending you an external site, I walk you through the steps in the download as well as in the webinar that you can watch over again of how to set your product so that it's invisible, quote unquote. Now, if you don't care that you have a free product on Shopify and you already have your store set up, that's fine. Or let's say you want to set up a store, you're not even intending to drive traffic to it. You don't need to go through all those steps. So signing up for Shopify takes like 5 minutes. Setting up a product takes like no time. Then you just have to connect your payment processors, and Shopify has a walkthrough. So on the fast end, 5 minutes. If you wanted to completely design new stuff, I think maybe a day. I mean, especially if you're using something like Shopify or Zipify or ClickFunnels.
That's pretty amazing. Okay, so we had several questions about about MBS, Managed by Stats, and the email append service, and if it's available in the UK. So first off, I'll take this one. I don't have an answer for whether or not the email append is available in the UK yet, but I can tell you, you don't need the email append service. So when you're creating these custom audiences, there's enough information to get, I would say, probably about a 60 to 70% match just using first name, last name, city, state, and zip. And that's what everyone gets from Amazon. Yeah, so you can get enough there. If you have email append, it goes upwards towards 80%, but you do not need that. So if you're in the UK, you can still do this and don't even worry about an email append.
Yeah, exactly. And
yeah, go ahead, Paul.
Do you guys have a relationship? Amazing has a relationship with MBS too, and I'm not sure if there's any active offers going now, but I mean, go in the community and ask there if there's anything like that. I'm sure people can point you to the links, but I just had this straight link to Managed by Stats.
Yep, absolutely. If you're a member of Amazing Selling Machine, go into the private resource vault, and if we have any special deals going on, it'll be right there. Carol asked, what is a matched contact, Paul?
Okay, that's a great point. So Mike just mentioned this. A match contact is, so let's say you upload 100 people to Facebook. Most of the time, they're only going to match, so 100 contacts with first name, last name, city, state, zip. Facebook is able to match on average about between 60 and 70% of those to real people. So that's a match contact. So let's say out of 100 people on the low end, you might have absolute low end, maybe 40. That's like super low. But in my experience, what I was saying is closer to, like Mike said, about 60%. So that's a matched contact. So when you export your list from Managed by Stats, say you have 1,000 people in there, you'll probably have about 600, an audience size of 600 people, which is pretty decent.
Yeah, and the benefit of that is for people who are worried about getting that too many reviews per sale, it's kind of built in by default because you're not going to get a match on all of them, and then not all the people are going to click on your ad, and not all are going to want to do it. So you're kind of protected
Right.
that way by the nature of that. Okay,
Exactly.
so Richard asks, does the product that you're giving away have to be a different product, or can it be a different color of the same product?
That is skirting the line. I mean, you can do that. The the potential problem that I first saw with, I actually thought of including that as an idea, as a product that you could give away. If you have it set up as a child variation, um, when in doubt, don't ever do anything that Amazon might see as a violation. Now, the likelihood that Amazon is going to see that you gave somebody something after the fact, um, that's not a bad deal, because none of this will break, none of this breaks the TOS. So just hear me very clearly there. This entire method does not break TOS. The potential problem that I see with something like that is that, say, Joe Smith gets a red silicone spatula and he bought a blue one, 2 years ago. Let's say he goes on to Amazon now and he reviews the blue one, but he's got the red one that you gave him for free just because. He could potentially say something like, oh, this company gave me a free spatula and I love the first one. So I don't know how Amazon would see that. Everything that you're doing is not a violation, but that's just something that you would need to think through. I don't know, Mike, if you have a better answer than that, but that's
Yeah,
just the
no, I mean,
potential downfall that I see.
you covered it perfectly. Technically, it's not an issue, but to them, they may kind of think you're giving a free product that they're giving a review on, even though it's a different variation. So if that's your only option, then, maybe it's the route you got to go, but there's lots of other things you can give away. And it leads, so try not to do that would be a recommendation. We're pretty sure you'll be safe, but we always want to try to guide you the safest possible route, and it's going to lead into the next question. So this is the perfect one. Andre is asking, so if I only have one product right now, and I don't even live in the US, live in Europe, what kind of product should I give for them? Where should I purchase it? And is it expensive to get it shipped in? Do you have any ideas? Basically, if you're only one person, one product show, what are your options? And I'll let you go, Paul, and I do have a couple of suggestions after that as well.
Yeah, that's why I offered the other two options. So like your big winner one is your next best bet. Mike, you've done a lot of stuff on this with Amazon giveaways. You don't need to own any of the products that you purchase on Amazon as a giveaway. So you, as a person that's living in Australia, can say, again, let's say you're in the baby market like me. This is amazing. What I'm gonna do now, I'm not kidding, I am tomorrow going to Babies R Us and buying like 10 or 15 strollers because Babies R Us is closing. And I can get $300 strollers tomorrow for like $60. Now, if you don't have that ability and you don't live in America, you can just do the same thing, find something on Amazon as a giveaway and set it up so that you run a giveaway that way, or you just buy it on Amazon and ship it directly from Amazon to them. That would be my best option. Or here's another one. I have this listed in the downloads as you can just go to your local supermarket and buy something and then sell it when you sell. So when you get an order, you go buy it and then ship it. So there was a guy who did this with ClickFunnels with like survival knives or something, or survival pens. And he made like $1 million selling stuff that he didn't own. It was amazing. So the possibilities are endless. My first recommendation, like I said, big winner giveaway option. You can buy it on Amazon. If you live in America and you're in baby, like go to Babies R Us and Toys R Us before they close, because you can get a bazillion things for free to give away.
That's a great idea. And one of the ideas I'm going to suggest is these don't have to be your products. Like sometimes you have to think completely outside the box. We all think that we're sellers, we own our brands, we have to like sell our own product. You don't. You can go out there, find a really, really cool product and say that I'm going to give away this Amazon Alexa. I did that. I put a webinar on last year and I paid for and gave away an Amazon Alexa live on the call just to show how easy it was. I'm not saying you have to do that kind of product, but the bigger the product, the bigger the prize, the more people you get. But you could go out there and find really cheap products on Amazon. You know what? do a search, use the ASM criteria, find the top selling products on Amazon that are cheap in a good price range, let's say 10 bucks or less, to control your costs, and use those. They're in demand
Right.
and they're not that expensive. If you're a Prime customer, you can send them for free.
Yeah, exactly. The more, just to finish that up, Mike, the more that these products relate to your target audience niche, the better. And I cover this pretty at length in the free webinar that you gain access to, that free download when you signed up. That's that 45-minute bit, how to generate your first subscribers. I go into pretty good length about picking a giveaway product and how you need to make sure it ties into your audience too.
Excellent. Okay. Do I need prior Amazon approval on giving a free product away? I'm just going to answer that. No, you do not. Okay, here's the other tough one. I think we just covered this one. How does this help new sellers who are just getting the first product launch? We have no customers and we don't have other products for the customers to buy. I'm just going to cover this real quick, Paul. Do what we said.
Mm-hmm.
You give away another person's product, like we said. You don't have to give away your own. And this is perfect to get set up for your first couple of products. This is absolutely perfect if you want to, because if you set this up as you make your first sales, you'll start targeting these people and trying to get some reviews out of them. This actually is a great thing to do if you're ready to go and launch a product. What do you think, Paul?
Yeah, it is. And we have a completely different module that uses it's pretty modified method using giveaways and that sort of stuff for launching products. But yeah, you can modify this fairly easily. Yeah, and then just like I said earlier in the webinar, just keep it in your back pocket for when you are selling. This is a great thing to use because, again, nobody is doing this. Like, there's some people doing the little ads, hey, review my product, but nobody's doing methods 1 or 2. Like zero people other than us.
Awesome. Bonnie's Fruit says, love your philosophy. Same way I want to be when I start to grow. Kudos to you, Paul. Awesome. We have several other people saying similar things like that. Great job. From Ruchi Kara, do I tell the customers that everybody is commenting is getting a freebie?
It depends on which funnel you're doing. So that's the great thing about the free casino drinks model, is you're literally saying, hey, comment on this post and we will give you a free pair of, in our case, the bamboo washcloths. So that's why, again, I have that, make sure that you give them a reason why, or, sometimes people don't even need a reason why, but it's great because literally every single person is getting one. They're getting a free set and it's like, amazing. Just think of that from a customer service perspective. Like, you as a customer, if you bought something from somebody once and then they said, hey, I'm going to give you something completely different for free, you'd love them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so every single person commenting gets it. That's why I have that question as whether or not they want to pay for shipping, because this works so well that it started working too well. And my wife was like, we're shipping out 30 of these a day, and I'm, $3 in shipping every single day is a lot of money.
Awesome. From Andre again, do you use FBA to ship out your hook or loss leader product?
Yeah, you can. We personally don't, just because, again, it was the bamboo washcloths. We pulled those from FBA. We created a removal order because that was when we were super, super early. We tried launching a second product too soon, and we did a terrible launch prior to your LBR, by the way, Mike. That was.
So you're saying that if you would have had LBR, then this method may
Yep.
never have been discovered.
Exactly. So
Okay.
I guess I'm glad that I didn't figure that out until later in the game. But so we created a removal order. We have 1,200 washcloths. That's our joke, is that we're going to give people washcloths for Christmas because we have so many. So we were shipping them ourselves. It's a little bit cheaper. It's like because we're only doing 2, it was like $2.50 for shipping. But if you don't want to do that, like I'm going on a 2-week road trip here pretty soon, I'm going to switch that over to FBA. I'll send in I'll do a different freebie product and I'll have FBA do it.
Perfect. Absolutely. And then so along these lines about this product you're sending to them, we got a couple questions from people about, do they have to have a Shopify site to do this? And if so, Stefan's asking, what do you actually use the Shopify site for since they're selling on Amazon?
Okay, so that's just right there. Don't worry about it. If you're at that spot and you're just selling on Amazon, don't even worry about it. I personally have a Shopify store because we do sell on Amazon and off Amazon. We've been doing a lot of marketing. Like Mike said, my talk was on PR, and because of that, we started getting a ton of traffic and people purchasing from us on our website directly. So we have Shopify because we have people buying from us like every single day on Shopify in addition to Amazon. That's why we have it. So no, you do not need Shopify. If you decide that you want to do e-commerce outside of Amazon, it's my opinion that Shopify is the lowest cost and easiest thing to set up, because you can get a template for free or pay like $100 for a template and get your site set up in like a day. And you don't need to be a coder for it either.
And then what do you actually use that for? So is that what you're sending people to get the free product? Perfect. And
So
that
it's
way you
just a
capture their
marketing.
email.
Yeah, so it's either Zipify Pages. I didn't do a very extensive walkthrough on Zipify Pages because that's not what this webinar was about. I just wanted people to see a little bit of what Zipify Pages was. It's a drag and drop editor. Are you still seeing my screen? I could just go through.
Yeah, we sure are.
I mean, Zipify Pages is literally a drag and drop builder. So I have my own. I basically modified this because this is the free plus shipping offer. And it has a timer that says you can only get this for 2 days. If they want to get a free sample, then I can have this set to go to either a URL, pick a product, or I could have them go to my CRM, which is Klaviyo, my email provider. So that would be where I would have them enter their email. So that's one method that you can say enter your email, and then we'll do that. But it's really limitless. But yes, to answer your question, I have them go on Shopify just because I track my local inventory using Shopify. So everything that I have here, that way I'm not going to give away a freebie product that I don't have in stock. So I could set my inventory levels. When they order the inventory, it automatically removes it. Because Zipify links in natively to Shopify, it's the exact same story. So again, Ezra and his team did a great job of putting this together. These templates are set so that they're super high converting, so that let's say you did want to go get a Shopify store and you wanted to use a high converting template, you just change everything on this. Just put your logo in here, change out your text for your description, just copy, if you're giving away something you already sell on Amazon, just copy that, put your products here. Yeah, so this is more of a little bit, I guess, why I use Zipify, but again, this is not a webinar about Zipify. This is about how I get reviews on Autopilot and the different tools that I use to do that.
Yep, and then and just like so, Paul said he tracks his inventory on Shopify. Shopify lets you track it. So if he has 500 more baby washcloths in his garage, he can track it there, and it automatically removes it every time someone gets it. Or if someone is asking, Adam Ackerman's online was asking, can you just ship the stuff out of FBA? Absolutely. You can easily, for free, connect your Shopify site to your Amazon FBA store, and it will take care of knowing how many products you have there and take care of shipping everything out as well. That's another option.
So yeah, sorry. And one other thing, the other reason why I use Shopify is because I can do upsells on it. So there's endless amounts of apps. Again, with Zipify, they have one thing called one-click upsell. So that's another app that I use that adds an upsell to my order. So that was where I was saying that if you have a landing page outside, you can tie it in here, they can order, and then you can offer an upsell. ClickFunnels does an extremely good job of that too, which is just another option. But that's one method. Again, the whole purpose of today's call was talking about reviews. I didn't want to go into the details of how to get upsells, but you can very, very easily modify this so that you're not only getting reviews, but you're also upselling other products to those people. I mean, the possibilities are endless that you can just tweak this or modify it to make it your own.
Perfect. And so for Nick Zabranowski, who asked how you deal with delivery, either you have to ship the product out or you can use Amazon FBA to ship the product out if your product's there. Okay, so there's a few we already covered. Oh, here's one from Kim Van Lersel. How about using a digital product like an ebook as a hook? I happen to have a few high quality ones available for my niche.
For sure. I mean, that's something that I cover in the bonus download that you get. Again, I reference that a lot because this webinar had so much information in it that I couldn't cover everything that I wanted to in just the webinar. I needed to have a little bit of precursor, which is why you got the bonus. So in the bonus, I talk about different giveaway options that you can use. If the ebook is something that people are really wanting and it provides a lot of value, your rule of thumb is the more valuable something is, it has to have real value. The more inclined they're going to want to give you their information for it. So just think of it that way. If you think that it's a great thing and people are giving you their information for the ebook, use that as your hook. That's a great idea.
Awesome. Okay, Jay Chu is a good question here. So if you run discount promos every month for Amazon, then these customers' profiles were captured from MBS along with full price purchase customers. So then how do you separate those customers while doing retargeting, since the discounted customers won't be able to leave a product review due to the recent policy changes? How do you tackle this?
Great question. And that came up from one of our MBU students, actually. You have to do a manual export. There is no automatic sync. I'm sure we could talk to Philip and ask if we could do that, but have them change that on their end. But what you do in MBS, you go to your exports, your customer list, then you generate a customer, then you click on the generate list for the export, and then you just select, you basically tell it to say only orders over a certain amount. So you could say, okay, let's say again, my favorite silicone spatula, say you're selling your silicone spatulas, you also have, oven mitts and like a knife rack and all sorts of stuff. So let's say you want reviews on your spatula, you create a customer customer export of people that have purchased your spatula. I set it so that they've never refunded. I set it up so that it's only that product all time. And then I would set, if you're concerned about the discounted sales, set it so that the price paid has to be greater, than $19.99 or something. Again,
Awesome.
Assuming you sell for $20. That way, that exported list, you have to import it manually. Like I walked briefly through, didn't do the entire steps, but you have to do that manually. You can't do the sync, the auto sync.
But you're right, it's still completely possible when you download those. You can do that. You can also, I don't know if you said that, I was actually typing a note to myself and Matt and Jason and Rich to talk with Philip about that. You can also exclude refund customers when you do a manual download as well. Okay, right. So let's just keep on going. We got several more to go through. Let's see, we already covered that. Bear with me for a second. A lot of these are already answered. Okay. Already I talked about that. Oh, okay, I think you kind of covered this one. Do you charge them for shipping, like a fee plus shipping thing?
Yeah, totally. And that's exactly why I set up the shipping inside of Shopify. And that came about because, again, we tested this out in November thinking that it might work. And this is one of those things that if you guys are like me, you test out stuff all the time that doesn't work. But then every now and again, there's something that just goes insane and you don't know what to do. That was the case with this. We were getting 30, 40 orders a day where we were paying shipping, and a lot of them I was following up, they weren't, like 25% of them weren't past customers. So my wife, Rochelle, was like, why are we not charging them shipping? And I was like, well, because then the likelihood that they'll take the offer is lower. So that's up to you. If you want to completely pay for shipping on everything you can, if you want to make it a free plus shipping offer like I did, again, if you have ManyChat, literally you just click the button to copy the template and all of those questions on would you be willing to pay for shipping is included. And why I asked that again is because I'm a cheapskate. I don't want to pay for shipping on something from somebody who's never purchased from me. But you can modify this to run this as an ad to people who have never purchased your stuff to introduce them to your brand with the express purpose of making it a free plus shipping offer to introduce them to your products with an upsell at the end. But that's a completely different webinar.
Awesome. Okay, we are almost done, by the way, with the questions. Just a few more if you guys want to hang around. So, here we go. Hema asked, can you share the funnel with us? Yes, Hema, you will get that in the downloads, don't worry. Let's see. If you don't use, okay, this is a good one. I think the answer will be a little tougher, but if you don't use Managed by Stats, how do you get the customer info?
There was man, I can't remember the name of it. There's a couple different things that are like multi-channel software suites that sync into Amazon, and you might be able to answer this a little bit better than me, Mike, because I've just been using Managed by Stats for forever. But there are a lot of like multi-channel type softwares that allow you to export your customer data. Getting that customer data from Amazon is convoluted and hard.
Yeah. Yeah, so the way that I've had to do it in the past, and which is why I now use MBS, it's so worth it, is you download the orders reports and you will get the first name, last name, city, state, and zip, which is what you need. However, the difference is the first and last name is together in one field, and you actually have to do some kind of parsing on that field in order to split them out. So you can do this, just download straight out of Seller Central into spreadsheets, and just keep in mind that you have to parse out the first and last name because Facebook requires you to do that. If you can do that, it's a manual process. It's not overwhelming, especially depending on how many sales you have, but you can do it by downloading that. Let's see, we're almost there. We already covered that. How do you engage with past customers? That's all we're talking about. Using your custom conversion or your custom audiences. And I think we're almost there. One last question. Oh, here it is from Bonnie. If someone thinks they're talking with a real person, because you've done a great job of implementing that into your flow, Paul, and they ask a real question, how does the bot respond so it seems like a real person?
That is we get that all the time. You just have to hop on there, and the most of the time the chatbots are becoming more and more familiar to people, and as they're becoming more familiar, people understand that they need to click a button. But it's if you're getting let's say at the high end, like we were getting like 30, 40, 50 a day that we were talking to, like having these bot communicate with. The likelihood that you're going to have that many manually asking you questions is pretty slim. It's pretty low. So maybe like 1 to 5 of them. It's definitely worth your time, or if you have a VA, just to answer those questions. So what we do if they ask a real question, we just answer manually.
Yep, absolutely. That's a great one. And everyone, that is the last question that I hear that we have flagged. If for some reason, and I know what happened. I know there's one I know I didn't get to. Hold on real quick from Carol. I wanted to cover this one, then it really will be the last one. Can't see it here anymore. Oh, do you know the conversion rates just roughly for those 3 different methods you talked about? Free drinks, the other 2, which ones convert the best?
Free drinks by far. That's why the entirety of my the rest of the presentation was structured around free drinks. The reason why I added the Big Winner and Fatal Attraction was because I wanted there to be more options for people that didn't, let's say they wanted to get started and they didn't want to wait for getting a freebie product, or if you're just limited on capital to invest. Like I was when I first started my Amazon business. I didn't have 2 pennies to rub together. So I wanted to give people like me, 3 years ago, an option to get reviews that didn't require any sort of upfront investment in a product to give away.
Awesome. Okay. That's what so I was going to say that if we didn't get your questions, I'm so sorry, guys. We literally, I wish I had a count here, but we probably had 600-700 questions on the call. A lot were repeats, a lot were not. Try to get to as many as possible. You guys have been awesome. If you've enjoyed this webinar and thought it was good content, please post a question, a comment below. I know that I really did. It's a ton of, this is a really new topic that most people don't know much about. So the fact that you guys have questions That's totally normal. It's to be expected because this is a fairly complex topic, but when you see it broken down by Paul and Ben and Nate, and you see the extra bonus training video they make for you and the PDFs that kind of walk you through the process, it won't seem nearly as complex. It may seem a little tedious the first time you do it, going through it, but once you do it, it won't be hard. Then you'll be able to repeat the process. And like Paul mentioned earlier, getting these flows set up, that's the hard part. Once you have them set up, it runs by itself. It's pretty amazing, pretty amazing. So I just want to thank you, Paul, so much for sharing this with everyone here. This has been a great, great webinar. I've loved the content. I know we're getting a bunch of kudos in from people right now that absolutely love what you taught. Thank you so much. The bonus videos, remember, they're going to be in your amazing.com membership. That's where you'll get them there. They won't be up for at least 24 hours. We have to wait for GoToWebinar to download everything, and then it'll be uploaded into there. Also, the Facebook group, I think the Facebook group is going to be just as powerful as this training because it's going to give you guys an opportunity to ask questions about this funnel and how to get it set up. That's it, Paul. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Ben, Nate in the background. Thanks to Kelly, everyone for helping run this thing. We've been going a really long time, so I'm going to end the webinar right now. I want to thank everyone, and we'll all talk soon, and I'll see you guys soon. Take care and have an awesome, awesome day.